So yes, here I am back in New Zealand. My spidey sense tells me there are some unbelievable photos to be found if I can just get to the river itself. Look at this freaking place. Are you kidding me?
Well, a very good day to everybody out there. Joe Pal here, Joshua Cripps, in one of my least favorite places, LAX, but heading to one of my absolute favorite places in the whole world, New Zealand. So let's fast forward through all this airport crap and get to the good stuff.
Okay. Oh, made it. I am here in New Zealand. So yes, here I am back in New Zealand, and for the last 2 weeks I've been leading a photo tour throughout the South Island, and I'm gonna throw up a quick supercut here of all the amazing things that we saw during this trip and some of the photos that I took. But now I'm on my own, and I'm really excited because I get to spend a couple of days in my favorite place in the entire country, Fiordland National Park. Most people who are coming to Fiordland National Park are doing it for one specific reason, and that is to come here. Milford Sound, often called the 8th wonder of the world. It's a truly spectacular place with an almost incomprehensible view of mile-high mountains rising straight up out of the fjord. Now, I've been super fortunate to be able to photograph Milford Sound many times, and I actually had this big spiel lined up about how that wasn't going to be my focus for this video because I've had the opportunity to shoot it, and I've got a lot of photos that I really love from this location. So I was going to come here and just be like, look, it's pretty cool, but let's go photograph some other stuff. But as soon as I got out of the car, I saw these clouds. Very unusual type of cloud called an asperitas cloud. And I don't know what exactly causes them to form, but they look like wrinkles in the fabric of the universe. And I've only seen them a handful of times in my entire life, and never have I seen them over Milford Sound, one of the most amazing views on the planet. So I'm definitely gonna get out my camera and see what I can do with this scene. And you may be wondering, why am I dressed up like this? It's because, well, the sandflies, they are out in force, and they're trying to get my blood, which I would like to keep on the inside of my body. So we're gonna try to protect against them. All right, let's get out there. It's been a little bit tricky to find something to put in the foreground to get a shot with these amazing clouds. And I'm not necessarily a huge fan of just doing a straight shot.
of the mountain with the clouds because it tends to feel a little bit flat. Although those clouds are so banging insane, they're so freaking cool. The tide is out really far right now, which makes it challenging to find anything out here to use as a foreground because there's just a lot of empty sand, as you can see, plus a bunch of muck and mossy boulders that just don't really look all that great, to be honest with you. So I've just kept walking out here farther and farther and farther, and I've actually found something really, really cool. These ripples that you can see down here in the sand. And they're amazing. They're amazing, amazing, amazing as a foreground because they actually mimic the shape of those asperitus clouds up there in the sky. So it's creating this great continuity and sense of connection between those two parts of the photos. And those clouds are getting utterly bonkers, so I better put this video down and start taking some pictures.
Hey there, this is Nick Stover, the founder of Nature Photography Collective, inviting you to join the collective itself. We have a library of over 100 nature speakers, an incredibly active community where you can interact with other photographers from around the world, and we add new talks, new speakers almost every week. Plus, you can be part of live Q&As, online editing clinics, and be notified before anyone else of new in-field workshops. You can get full details on our website, www.naturephotocollective.com, and you can use code SOCIALS10 to save 10% off your membership. Hope to see you there. Thanks so much.
The cloud structures aren't quite as well formed anymore. They're starting to break up and lose their shape. So I'm gonna tear myself away from this incredible location and head off into Fiordland in search of something that I've been looking for a couple of years now.
I'm here along the road that goes into Milford Sound. I'm right next to the Claddow River, and the Claddow is what drains this entire cirque. And it starts as this tiny little trickle high up in the mountains, right when you come out of the Homer Tunnel, to a massive raging river by the time you get down to Milford Sound. And as many times as I've driven along this route, I've never taken the time to stop and try to bash my way through the forest along the side of the road to get to the river itself. That's what I want to do now, because my spidey sense tells me there are some unbelievable photos to be found if I can just get to the river itself, which, as you can see through this thick, dense, temperate rainforest, is a pretty big challenge. So let's try to find a way in. I hope you can hear me over the sound of that raging river. This spot it's really incredible, and it's almost what I'm looking for. It's got all the pieces, but the trees kind of get in the way of the view, and you can't really get close enough to the river to get the composition that I'm looking for. So I'm gonna head back and look for a different spot. Same elements, but different arrangement. Hopefully, I'll be able to put them all together. Fiordland is home to towering mountains, huge plummeting waterfalls, unbelievably lush beach forests, and crystal clear, and I mean crystal clear streams. Water so clear, it's got this insane blue color. And for years, I've been trying to find a location that exemplifies all of those things. And you'd think it would be easy since they're all over the place and you see them as you're driving through here, but finding that one spot where you can get it all together in a photograph, where you can actually see all of those things, and it's not just a quick glimpse from the road with nowhere to park. That's been the hard part, and that's what I've been searching for a couple of years, and I've just never really spent the time to do it. It's really one of the big meat and potatoes ideas in being a photographer is you've got to get those boots on the ground. You've got to get out there, and you've just got to look around for the thing that you're looking for. And every so often, you find that amazing spot. I mean, look at this freaking place. Are you kidding me? Oh yeah, look at all that rain coming in. No wonder the light's so flat. All right, let's get out of here before these sand flies decide to pick me up and carry me away. So I've got an idea of how I can get a little bit of weather. If I can't sit around here and wait for this, I'm gonna go to somewhere where the weather is being a little bit more dynamic. So all this cloud and rain, it's coming in from the west, from the Tasman Sea, and it's scooping up through Milford Sound, and then it's hitting this big barrier of mountains over here. So I'm gonna jet up here, go through the Homer Tunnel. That's gonna take me to the other side of this mountain range. And I suspect the clouds over there haven't quite gotten hit with the rain bug yet. So fingers crossed, I might find a little bit of atmosphere and light over on that side, and I can sniff out other little river scenes just like this. Let's go. I've come through the tunnel, but unfortunately my prediction was completely false. So Nostradamus, I am not. It's raining on this side. In fact, it might be raining even harder than it was over there near Milford. I'm still gonna cruise down along the river just to see what I can see, if there's any breaks at all out that way. If not, well, I'm gonna pin my hopes on that spot that I found on the other side of the tunnel. I think it could look unbelievable with a little bit of breaking morning light coming through, lighting up those waterfalls and those absolutely towering cliffs. But who knows when the rain is gonna break. I mean, this is one of the rainiest places in the entire world. In fact, it's so, you know what, this is not a good place to talk about that. Let me tell you about the rain somewhere a little more interesting. So as I was saying, it rains a lot here in Fiordland, up to 7 or 8 meters hitting the ground here in Milford Sound. It's one of the rainiest places in the entire world. And just to give you a sense of perspective of what that is, 8 meters of rain, 315 inches. And for comparison, Death Valley National Park in California gets 2 inches of rain every year. Even Seattle, well known to be one of the rainiest cities, gets 40 inches of rain. So we're talking about 275 more inches of rain every year than Seattle. Sometimes it makes it a little challenging to do photography, but one of the things that it means that is so cool is waterfalls. When a rainstorm hits this unbelievably sheer and dramatic landscape, the water doesn't get absorbed, there is no soil, it just starts cascading off the cliffs, leading to dozens, if not hundreds, of 1,000-meter tall falls cascading down from the cliffs. But since this rain is forecasted to last all of tonight and into tomorrow, I think I'm gonna give up my dream of finding that epic river view right now and wait for the storm to break. Instead, I'm gonna go find a place to camp, grab some dinner, and just relax in this absolutely stunning location. Everybody, it rained most of the night, but now it's starting to clear and there are breaks in the sky appearing with blue sky, and even the summits of the mountains starting to poke up above the clouds. And that is really, really great news because I have big plans for today. I'll tell you about that a little bit later. For now, let me jump in the car, head back to the river, and see if I can find some scenes with some beautiful beech trees, some epic waterfalls, some huge cliffs, some light, and some mountains, and maybe it'll all finally come together. All right, I just got over to this space here and it's awesome, holy crap. It's raining still, but there's light moving across the face of the mountain and it's slowly inching its way across the waterfalls here. Holy crap, check this out. The only downside right now is that because of all the rain overnight, the river is full of runoff. It's full of tannins from the beech trees in the forest. So it's gone very dark green, almost an olive green. It's lost that beautiful blue. sheen that it had yesterday, and the level of the river is a lot, oh God, I'm losing my brain. Look at this. The level of the river is a lot higher, so many of the compositions that I scouted yesterday out here on this little island of rocks are gonna be probably unavailable. I don't even know if I can get over there anymore, but at least I can shoot from right here on the side of the road. Oh man, is that beautiful. I better stop yapping and get my camera out. Damn it, I was too slow, the sun disappeared. But I see some other breaks, I'm hoping it's gonna come back. In the meantime, I might go hide in the car a little while just to escape this onslaught. I've been sitting here in the car in the rain for the last hour, just watching more and more waves of water come in. There's a little break up here, and I was thinking, oh crap, if I missed everything, there's a tiny little break. So I gotta be ready, because earlier I was way too busy gopping and flapping my yap to actually take any pictures, so I completely missed the moment. But I see this little break up here, and I see a little bit of light on the mountain, so I'm gonna shut up, get my camera, and get out there just in case. Let's go. People often think that landscape photographers wait hours and hours and hours for their photos. Now, me personally, I actually almost never wait. I like to just kind of show up, see what's happening, and shoot. But here's a situation where I did wait hours, and it paid off. Oh my God, the light hit the waterfall. It was just so stunningly beautiful. Now, the sandflies have also decided to come out and celebrate the beautiful warm weather. They're about as bad as I've ever personally experienced. So I am going to wrap up here and get out before I am nothing more than a husk drained of blood. But how can you leave a scene like this? Ah, it's so freaking beautiful. You just gotta take it in one last time and call it a day. You guys know Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and they're like, they confront a foe they can't beat. Run away! Run away! That's how I feel right now. Holy shit! Oh my God, they are relentless. Sometimes it's a battle to do photography, and wow, that definitely exemplified it. Not just dodging the rainstorms, but also the sandflies. Just having the patience to stand down there with thousands of insects swarming in your face, trying to get that one moment of light on the waterfall. Did I get it? Hell yes. Perseverance pays off. Another excellent lesson I've learned many, many times through the world of photography. Now, this has been actually a ton of fun, but I am going to curtail this because I have big plans, as I mentioned earlier in this episode, but a day is getting on, so I need to end this video here and catch up with me in the next one, where I jump on the trail for one of New Zealand's great walks, the Routeburn Track. I'm incredibly excited to spend the next 2 days walking and photographing this section of the amazing Routeburn Track. Because of the wide variety of scenery, I'm really gonna have a chance to try lots of different kinds of photography. You can never predict Fiordland. It was literally all clouded in a second ago, and now, oh my God, look at this place.